Attorney Jonathan Elson, reminding you that if you've been injured in an auto accident, it's important to have somebody on your side. When you need a lawyer,
then you need Nelson.
So we were dispatched for a report of a structure fire, and the fire was initially reported to be in the winery RV park. That was found to be inaccurate. It was literally located behind the winery supermart, located on 16th Street in the corner of Winery. And apparently the vehicle was returning from the dunes for a weekend, holiday weekend, and passerbys indicated there was smoke coming from the back of the trailer. The driver then pulled it into what he believed was a safe area, which was behind the Winery supermart, but unfortunately originally it was located next to a propane refilling station. So when they found that they had a heavy fire, starting to present, they moved it up a little bit further in the parking lot so to minimize the exposures. However, the fire conditions were growing so quickly that there was what we call a BLEVE, which is a boiling liquid expanding vapors explosion, which in essence means that the propane tanks mounted on the tongue of the trailer, one of them actually blew up. And when it did, it knocked the second one off of the tongue of the trailer across the parking lot, and that was creating a second issue of a possible BLEVE, because that was self-contained fire, and it was spinning around, and it had a very loud whistling sound, which means that there's an imminent issue of it possibly blowing up as well. So crews arrived, they quickly got a handline on the trailer, but more importantly, they got the other handline on that propane tank, quickly cooled it, eliminated the explosion hazard, and then refocused back on the trailer. The trailer fire had extended, so when the first tank blew up from that BLEVE, it blew the entire front portion of the trailer off and blew it in an outward fashion. And so it caused a lot of significant damage, and then it extended to the pickup truck. Now, you had mentioned that we were on another call. Some of the crew was. We were on a fatal motor vehicle accident on Highway 160. We had just cleared that call. We're returning when we had received the additional assignment. So the existing resources, both the Station 1 and 5, responded to the fire. Unfortunately, our crews arrived it was within 3 minutes. However, the fire had been burning while they were driving. So they simply didn't know they had a fire in the trailer. And then once they stopped, the fire presented through windows. They opened the man door at the front, and it just took off. And once that tank BLEVE, that was it. They just went up. Yeah, so we had a lot of people who were returning from the dunes, saw the fire. There was a lot of traffic, pedestrian and vehicle traffic in the area. And of course, everyone was pulling over to see what's going on. And at one point, there was a report that listed that the supermart had actually exploded. That was never the case. The propane refilling station was protected. The buildings were protected. It was just the trailer in the back part of the truck. Yeah, so once that explosion occurred, it ignited some of the material that was stored in the bed of the truck. And including in there was 2 large cans of 91 octane fuel. So there was additional accelerants that were in an immediate area, but that was quickly quelled, and that was no longer an issue. Well, it's undetermined at this point. That was a rental unit, and most of the appliances had been turned off. So it's under investigation, but undetermined at this point. There were no injuries. I don't think when he initially pulled into that parking lot, he knew what he actually had going. I think he simply just pulled to a safe area away from everyone else, because the fuel islands were occupied by other vehicles. So he came to the back end of the parking lot, away from everyone else, so he could investigate to see exactly what was going on. And then obviously their investigation revealed the fire.